Welcome to This Week This Morning, the weekly video that gets you up to speed on the week's most important developments for your business and your taxes. Unless you were buried in a bunker with no access to the outside world, you know that Joe Biden assumed the presidency this week without incident. And you probably saw that he signed about 1 million executive orders and presidential directives. Needless to say, the Biden administration and Democrats in general feel a sense of urgency to undo the perceived damage caused by former President Donald Trump. But for as fast as they want to move, we're likely not going to see the $1.9 trillion Rescue America plan become a bill until sometime in mid to late February. And while this is in process, you'd be wise to make sure that you're taking full advantage of all of the relief provisions in the most recent stimulus bill. I've said it before, but I need to say it again. Make sure you are aware of the interplay between the second round of PPP loans and the Employee Retention Tax Credit, or ERC for short. Not having a viable game plan for this will easily cost you 5 figures, if not more. As a reminder, the ERC will generate a tax credit of 50% of up to $10,000 in wages per employee for 2020 and 70% of wages up to $10,000 per employee per quarter for 2021. It's a lot of money, and you'd be foolish to ignore it. If you're wondering why you weren't looking at this during 2020, it was because you couldn't do a PPP loan and the ERC until the passage of December's stimulus bill. So the main issue at stake here is that PPP dollars used for salaries and wages that result in loan forgiveness are not eligible for the ERC. So one strategy you might deploy is delaying your application for your second draw of PPP until late March. You would do this if you're eligible for the ERC in Q1 of this year and would not be able to claim the full credit because there weren't enough wages for both PPP loan forgiveness plus $10,000 per employee beyond that. There's plenty of funding for second draw PPP loans, so you don't need to worry about the money running out before you apply. If, on the other hand, you think you would have enough wages in Q1 of this year, you could apply now, but then you'd have to make sure to maximize the full 40% of non-payroll costs for PPP loan forgiveness to free up as much wages as possible for the ERC. When it comes to claiming the ERC for 2020, you're going to want to consider when your covered period should end for the first draw of PPP. In some cases, you'd elect for it to end as soon as possible, which is 8 weeks, by the way, to free up Q3 and Q4 for maximization of the ERC. In other cases, you'd stretch it out as long as you could to free up the most wages for claiming the ERC in Q2 of 2020. Now, you need to remember that to qualify for the ERC, you need to have a 50% decline in gross receipts in any quarter in 2020 as compared to the same quarter in 2019 to claim the credit for tax year 2020. To claim the credit in 2021, you only need to have a 20% decline in gross receipts in Q1 or Q2 of this year compared to the same quarter in 2019. There's even a safe harbor that can allow you to qualify for the current quarter based on the prior quarter's 20% decline in gross receipts as compared to that same quarter in 2019. So these are just some of the strategies out there. I'm not expecting you to fully understand this, but I am expecting you to realize that this is important stuff and you need to seek a CPA to help you navigate this. And you need to do it now because most businesses are already in the process of applying for their second draw of PPP. You may need to hit the pause button, but only your CPA can answer this for you. See you next week.